Padua in northern Italy, people rushed to the train station, desperate to leave the city before it was put into lockdown.
I read 2 hours ago that they may be putting out an urgent decree putting Padua in the red zone. And because I'd like to return down south to my relatives, I decided to go earlier.
Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has signed a decree to impose an unprecedented large-scale quarantine in the Lombardy region, home to 10 million people, to limit the spread of COVID-19.
Now we have restrictive measures for a much wider area, because it wasn't making any sense to seal off small red zones while the infections have spread all over Lombardy and in the provinces we listed.
The decree tells people not to enter or leave Lombardy or 11 nearby provinces until at least April the 3rd, including the country's financial capital, Milan, and the city of Venice.
There's going to be many things that are going to be closed, like gyms, cultural centers, all sorts of areas where people get together in large groups. Restaurants and bars, however, it appears they will be kept open.
This comes after Italy reported more than 1,200 new infections in one day. Pope Francis, who's fighting a cold, has cancelled public appearances and will deliver his regular Sunday prayers to crowds at the Vatican by live stream. And the leader of one of Italy's two ruling parties has announced that he has coronavirus.
So it has arrived. I have coronavirus too. Obviously, I'll be monitored like everybody else in this situation. I feel fine, so it was decided that I would be isolated at home. Also, my family is following all the protocols for these situations.
Italy is the worst affected country in Europe, but France, Germany and the Netherlands have all reported a rise in the number of cases, while Malta, Slovakia and Serbia have confirmed their first infections. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
All right, Shalom. First, I'd like to start by saying all praise to Yahweh, by Shemi Awashai, by Shema Karkadash, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. I'm going to start this off with this scripture. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And that's what we have been doing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Awashai on the highways and byways. We've been telling the people that this type of stuff was going to happen. You know, and we've been reading it out the Bible. The scriptures say prove all things. We read it right out the scriptures, man. And Jake didn't want to hear. The world didn't want to hear. So now the world is being punished. You know, and it was going to happen regardless if they listened or not, because it's the Lord program. But it says, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. Right, so everything that we have spoke on when we out there in the highways and byways came from the Lord, man. Give me 1 second. Scripture. This Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right, and we ran with the truth, man. For the vision, and start teaching out on the highways and byways. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Right, the vision is talking about the prophecies. And as you can see, it's speaking, you know, and it's not lying. Though it tarry, right, at one point in time it was tarrying. You know, we would speak it and, you know, it wouldn't happen. You know, people mocked, laughed, joked, all the above, made videos and stuff. Now it's happening. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? So it didn't come when we wanted to come or when people wanted to come. It came when the Lord wanted it to come. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And as you can see, prophecies are happening everywhere, all over the world, man, non-stop. The coronavirus got whole countries locking down their borders and disinfecting everything, and there's thousands of people that's dying, man. Alright, just want to bring that precept in. Alright, this back to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right, man. These prophecies are happening right before everybody's eyes, man. You know, but 2/3 gonna continue to do what 2/3 gonna continue to do, which is whatever imaginations they're getting themselves in, whatever they going after the course of Satan. It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. Right. So the imaginations was talking about people saying that what they're gonna do to us. As you can see through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, we still out there teaching. You know? And the incredulity is the unbelief. We still out there teaching, and it's happening, and like only certain people waking up, but everybody else that don't wake up gonna die, man. We're not worried about that. You know, we're trying to save ourselves. That speak against thee, and that's them niggas that have been making videos against us, and family members and friends that's been talking behind our back about the truth, man. You know, they're gonna die. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? So since they don't believe, they're gonna die in their unfaithfulness, man. That's just how this goes. You know, we ain't gotta worry about what these people saying or nothing, or what they say they're gonna do to us, because, you know, it's prophecy. 1, 2, the Lord say He gonna protect His. You know, 3, everything that the Lord been saying has been happening right in front of our face, man. So we just gotta continue to have faith and not worry about nothing, man. It says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. There's a lot of death going on, you know, because of this virus. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right, man. So that's why all this is happening, because this place is wicked. People think they can do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say, feel how they want to feel, but it's totally against the Bible, man. So the Lord is judging them. You know, His elect, He gonna save and deliver, but the rest of the people, they're gonna be judged. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's part of the prophecy too. Race riots, and the ultimate kingdom against kingdom is the U.S. versus Russia. You know, right along with Iran and Israel and the rest of the nations. That's going to lock horns. For there shall be famines and pestilence, right? And that's what we're going through right now. This is a pestilence. This coronavirus is a pestilence. And earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. This is Ezekiel chapter 9. Verse 4, it says, and the Lord said unto him, which is the angel, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst of it. Right? So if you people was ever wondering why we was doing that, it's because we wanted to get marked with the mark of exemption. Yahweh is our way of the elect. That mark that saves us from this destruction, man. And, you know, we get to be part of the elect, the ones that get raised up in the kingdom of heaven. While everybody else got to be put to death and be birthed back in. So like it. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Smite means to kill. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So those who are dying from this virus are being killed by the angels. Slay utterly old and young, both maids, which is young women, and little children, and women, right, because it's a lot of women that's going to die, and women are totally wicked, and y'all deserve what y'all get, man. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids, which is young women, and little children, and women, right? So a lot of women going to be put to death. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, which is the Israelites. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, right, man, the elders. So the Lord judging his people, you know, as well as judging the rest of the world, man. So, yeah, that was just something quick. With that being said, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.